Thank you very much. So next we're going to talk about Prop 127, and you have some things also to hand out, right? So this is Todd to talk about Prop 127, which is the energy proposition.
Hello everybody, my name is Todd Begay. I'm going to stand as well. You follow that. So I also bike myself. I'm here with Yes on 127. I'm voting Yes on 127. I personally wish that I had myself some kind of renewable energy because, working all the hours for elections is always going to be a lot. But Arizona also has a similar problem, which we have a problem with energy. I am a voter in two senses in Arizona. I am both a voter as an Arizona citizen, but also as a Diné representative from the Navajo Nation. I also am a registered voter out there. And some of the things I'm going to speak to will also be in reference to what's happening on the reservation as far as energy is concerned. The initiative itself, Yes on 127, what we're trying to push for is 50% renewable energy from the utilities, and this responsibility lies solely on the utilities, by 2030. A lot of misinformation has been put out there about comparing our initiative to California's initiative. As most of you guys know, California's economy, their pollution problem, all of that is nothing like ours. But more importantly, their initiative is completely different because of those two factors. They have the economy and they also have the pollution problem to really tackle it. Our initiative is nothing like that. It's more progressive over, like I said, till 2030. It's 50%. The best comparison is going to be the initiative that was passed out of Colorado 2 years ago. And they've been met with real good success. They're at 27%, I believe, currently. I know a lot of people are worried about their bills going up. I've heard that as a common concern from a lot of people. But if you talk to anybody in California or in Colorado, they'll tell you that there was a moment where their bills went up slightly, but it hasn't been enough to really cause a lot of people to leave. The only people that are really stressed about this are business owners. And so ABS is our biggest opposition. They've been putting millions of dollars. That's why you've seen more of the no than the yes. We just we're stretched a little bit on the resources. But I think that initiatives like this, that are based at a grassroots movements, is really important because I'm an educator myself. I'm also, like I said, a longtime citizen of Arizona. I don't make a whole lot of money, just like everybody else. I'm too worried also about our utilities. I'm worried about also, more importantly, the state of our state. We have now the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, now saying that we have about 11 years to curb climate change. Right now, the U.S. produces about 2 billion tons of carbon emissions, and about 75% of that is from coal energy. And a large portion, the seventh largest coal-producing factory in Arizona comes from the Navajo Reservation. And that is currently being phased out because people my age are tired of having to deal with intergenerational health issues. We're tired of dealing with environmental issues. We don't want fracking.
If you have a loud voice, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, I was talking to a friend about why I wanted them to vote yes for 127. She agrees with solar power, that we should be moving in that direction, but she was very concerned that it was written as a constitutional amendment to the state, and that disquieted her. Can anyone address that?
It is actually an amendment to the state constitution, and it has to be that way in order to hold utilities accountable.
So that would, anyone want to expand on that argument?
Well, you just wouldn't expect the legislature to do this the way the legislature is right now.
Or the corporation commission.
And
So
the
this
legislature,
is our avenue.
and there's
Sort of
some,
like the last resort because those other two avenues didn't work.
well, the Corporation Commission is a fourth branch of government in fact
Right.
in Arizona, so the legislature can't tell the Corporation Commission what to do, but the Constitution can. So this was the only way they were able to set it up to make it happen.
Thank you.
I had the same question, but expanding on it. What happened? First of all, there's two people up for the Corporation Commission this year that are Democrats, so we should all support them to get the Republicans who constantly kill any solar stuff. So that's one way to do it. But what happens with that bothers me, the constitutional part of this proposition. Because what happens in 2030 if we're not at 50%?
I think we should be more concerned about 2030 if we haven't done anything at all towards climate
No,
change.
but what happens in 2030 if we're at 40%?
Then APS pays fines
Correct.
Yeah.
until they get where they need to be.
Yeah, but it's
But-
all about holding the utilities accountable.
Okay, but you make it sound so simple. They're fined, but what if it's 30%?
Well-
They're fined, so they put it back on the consumers.
And it raises a good point, because
Yeah.
the legislature and Governor Ducey signed a bill this year that they did to limit the fines to $5,000.
Okay.
So there will be a lot of lawsuits coming.
Right, and, right. There is also going to be a lawsuit concerning the language that was changed by Brnovich's people, so that's also a concern. So there will be, litigation as soon as this is passed, or if it passes.
And this is not impossible goals, this is APS just wanting to drag their feet.
Exactly.
We're not asking them to do something that's, magic, it's something that other states are capable of doing, other states have done.
Correct.
And not only that, it will help their bottom line in the future, because solar energy is now cheaper than coal and natural gas. They're dragging their feet because they're stranded capital in outmoded technology. But the faster they get on board, the better it is for their shareholders too, and that's why there's shareholder rebellions in the utilities happening as well. With people taking over their boards and saying, you gotta get on renewables now, because you're gonna lose money if you don't do it soon enough.
And we also have a large population of people that were working on the reservation who also will be needing jobs as well. There's a whole infrastructure there that can be created. One of the recommendations by the IPCC is that we're looking at locations that are appropriate for solar energy or aero energy, and we have exactly everything that we need here. We don't have the resources to try to get back to the carbon footprint, but what we can contribute back to the planet as a state is we can also start contributing towards our own carbon footprint as well, considering that we get most of our energy from coal.